now let's talk about something that you can do for your country, and it can also help you, especially if you're qualified and you don't have your citizenship yet. You may want to earn your citizenship through the Army, and right now I have with me a representative from the U.S. Army, of course, Lieutenant Colonel Scott Peterson. Hello and welcome to Kababayan.
It's great to see you again. Thanks.
You know, a lot of Filipinos are aware or are more familiar with the Navy and the Marines. Tell us about the Army in relation to those that we're familiar with. What is the difference?
Yeah, sure. Well, the Army, and it's a great question because this is very much a Navy area, and the Marines certainly here on the West Coast. But the Army is the ground component of our military. It is the largest service in all of the military. But yeah, oddly enough, most of our bases, or many of our East Coast based, Texas based, so those out here may not have as much of a contact as you would on the other sides of the country. But the Army runs all of our primary land forces, our tanks, our helicopters. Most of our infantrymen and our support actually come from the Army. It is by far the largest.
That sounds interesting. So it sounds like you're the backbone. Almost.
All the services are critical. Every one of them complements the other, and I would tell anyone looking to enlist that all of them are quality options wherever you went. But the Army is literally by number the largest and probably the most comprehensive in terms of skill sets and opportunities.
So that said, what are the common misconceptions? So it's not just lack of information. Also, some people have, notions, different notions of the U.S. Army. That's not quite true.
Right. Some of the, I think, the most of the stereotypes we hear here are actually regarding qualifications. What is the Army looking to pull in? What are you enlisting? Those that can't get to college, those that have no other options, kind of a last resort of sorts. That's really frequently heard, and it couldn't be farther from the truth. In fact, we're looking for the best and the brightest. And we really want to encourage parents, as they look for their children and those that are looking to enlist, that the Army is probably one of the most technologically savvy and demanding occupations in the country. Innovations daily are being put together in the military. So unlike perhaps what may have been the case years and years ago, at least perception-wise, the Army is very much a thinking game, and we're looking for those with the smarts, the physical, the Renaissance individuals, what we're looking for.
So it's not exactly dangerous, as you would call dangerous. We're not in front of the battlefields and not the frontliners, which will appease a lot of parents out there, because some of them are thinking, oh, I wouldn't want my son to go to the Army or my daughter because then it's going to be dangerous for them. So clear that up for us.
Well, to be fair, there is a combat component to the military, very much, and certainly the last decade plus of war with Iraq and Afghanistan have highlighted that there is a danger out there, and there are forces in the military, in the Army, that are frontline forces, to your point. But interestingly, for every one combat troop, there are about 10 that are in support roles, functions that are not necessarily as dangerous as perhaps you see on the news frequently, from communications, medical, support services. So there are a lot of opportunities that are not, again, what's always played up in a lot of the reporting.
And in the movies, too.
Absolutely.
In entertainment,
Absolutely.
right?
That's
okay,
right.
So now that you say that there is danger, but then at the same time there are far more benefits.
There are absolutely benefits. I think one of the things that we truly like to highlight are the educational benefits, the discipline, the skill set that a young man or woman would get in the military. When they enlist in, again, they are given things that frankly, I'm not sure if anywhere in corporate America provides. A young 23-year-old, when I first came in, a level of responsibility just unseen in other places.
Okay.
And so you're given the discipline, the structure, and some very tangible benefits for college, if that was where you were looking to go, money, health care benefits, a tremendous amount of things to support the soldier and their family.
And also for Filipinos out there, especially the immigrants, this can be a way for you to earn your U.S. citizenship as well. Can you tell us about the MAVNI program?
Absolutely. Yeah, MAVNI is a very unique program. This is the second time the military's run it. 2010 was the last. And what we do is we bring in those that are not passport holders or green card holders. They are on an immigrant status here in the States. They have to have been in the U.S. for 2 years with no greater absence than 90 days combined while in country. Okay. There's some certain academic qualifications they have to meet and linguistic requirements. But what the program is really designed to do is to bring a level of diversity in linguistics into our force that are in high demand. And Tagalog is one of those languages, and 2 other Filipino dialects are part of that mix. It is very much an open category, and we're excited at the opportunity of bringing those from Filipino descent or those here into the program.
Let's talk about requirements. You mentioned something, college, linguistics and all that. Is it the same for Army recruitment in general? Is it the same requirement?
It's a little bit higher sorts. The academic standards, there's a test, an aptitude exam that all take when they come in the military. The baseline score for acceptance is a 31 on this scaled exam. But for a MAVNI MAVNI applicant, 50 is the minimum score. And that's normed across the states. About 50% of a high school applicant would score that or above. So not an unrealistic number, but we are looking for a little bit of a higher quality in terms of the academic standards for those coming in on a MAVNI enlistment.
So the military, what I'm learning is they not only look good in uniform, they're also very smart. What kind of commitment is needed from them? Do you enlist for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
Sure.
Can you renew after? Are you stuck?
No, great question. The standard enlistment, if I could say as such, is 4 years. There are some abbreviated programs that are 2 and 3 years, and there's some that are longer than 4-year enlistments. A lot of it depends on the specialty that you're coming in to do and how much training is required to get you prepared for that job. Clearly, if the investment is a little longer in skills training, your requirement to serve would be slightly longer. But 4 years is really the typical one. And for a young man or woman that comes into that 4 years and they're loving it, they're doing very well, they can re-enlist and continue on in their career. And we encourage that.
Yeah, I can just imagine, you know, the experiences you get from this builds your character as a person. And even when you get out of it, you'll still have that with you. No one can take that away. Information on the screen, that's the number to call if you want more. If you have other questions, that's the number to call. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for the time. Thank you very much.